Hello, welcome friends. I'm Milo and I'm streaming again. Here we have a very blurry copyright title screen. Yeah, I'm recovering from a cold, so hopefully my voice lasts all the way through. But I was also on holiday for the last 3 weeks, and I'm back on the schedule. I missed streaming. It's fun. Um, yeah, I had a whole theme month planned out for September. Couldn't really do that. But hey, it's October, and yeah, people do theme months for that, clearly. Spooky junk and whatever. Last year I did a whole month where I played. It was within my year of heroin games, and within the month then I played games where you're playing as like a traditionally spooky monster character type thing. So this month is a little bit of a revisit of that. I covered a fair bit of ground on that last year's one, but I didn't play any games where you're a witch. So there's quite a few witch games, and it also neatly ties into a little WayForward gameplay that I've been doing on my own time, playing Shantae games and so on. So here we have Wendy Every Which Way by WayForward on the Game Boy Color. This was released right around the same time as Shantae, actually, and you might notice some similarities if you are familiar with Shantae, the original one on the Game Boy Color. As with Shantae, it's released after the Game Boy Advance came out, so it has Advance exclusive features, the Advance World being one of them. Now, the emulator I'm using right now has a lot of nice features, but apparently it doesn't support tricking the game into thinking you're a Game Boy Advance. So luckily that's just like a little bonus world. After I finish the game, I'm going to go and switch emulators and play the advanced world. But for now, let's start the normal game and just go through it. So if you're not familiar with the character, who you can see on the left side of the screen there, in the border, that's Wendy the Good Little Witch. She's a character in the Harvey Comics stable, along with Casper the Friendly Ghost and Richie Rich are probably the two most famous ones, at least for my generation, because they both got live action movies in the 90s. Apparently, from what I read, one was a complete flop and one was a success. I think, yeah, Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin was the flop. Casper was the success. Anyway, Wendy started as like a side character in the Casper comics, but got a spin-off later. I think that's how it worked. I don't really know. Well, I know a bit more about it, which I'll go into, but to start with, here is the game. Oh yeah, hi Gibbon. How's it going? Sorry. Good to see you back on my stream audience again. Oh, was that? Hang on a second. Yeah, there's little voice clips that have been digitized. You might be able to pick them up. They're a bit crunched and a bit quiet compared to the music. But yes, it is that Wendy, indeed. Wendy the Good Little Witch. Now, you'll see already that the main gimmick of the game, it's a side-scrolling platformer, but Wendy has the magical ability to flip the gravity at any time. Why was I shooting different things before? Okay, when I get a star, that powers up my shots. Sort of like Blaster Master. I think if you get hit, you then lose levels of your shot, maybe. Alright, so the magical green rocks went into the spooky castle. I have no idea what's going on in the plot. It's pretty simple. Yes, that's the first thing I thought of as well, given VVVV. VV. It's 6 Vs. Which is a really cool little indie game that sort of replicates the aesthetics of sort of ZX Spectrum era games. But that's a whole puzzle platformer where your only control is to invert gravity, and you go through a whole series of rooms, Jet Set Willy style. This one's a bit more straightforward, linear platforming with some combat in there as well. But yeah, this gravity mechanic is definitely part of it. Whoops. Wow, that guy did a lot of damage. So what's my shot look like now? Oh, it's the same. Why was I doing that triple shot earlier? I don't know. So I guess stars are my health. Okay, and we also have a timer. Oh, great. Super Mario Brothers style. Oh, yeah, so we'll have to flip and then jump upside down through those platforms. See, it's clever. I'm sure they'll get some use out of it. See, now I've got stars again. I don't understand. Maybe there's a... Nope, that's not it. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go on, maybe. But yeah, VVVVV came later. I believe it was the Hardcore Gaming 101 article on this game that makes the connection to an earlier game called Metal Storm from 1991 on the NES, which is a robot side-scrolling or like mech suit kind of action game. This is cute. A pig with a shield. I wonder how many of these enemies appeared in the comics. Probably not many. Yeah, Metal Storm. It's got you know, you're a robot with a gun, but you also have the ability to flip gravity at any time. There's some other games that use similar mechanics. I went looking. I don't. Oh, so I started with 0 stars, and I only have this little shot. I'm still trying to figure out the mechanic here. 3 stars. Okay, now I've got that again. I don't know. Should have looked at the manual, if there even is a scan of it online. I don't know. Ah, poor piggy fell over. Ow. Probably should have inverted to jump past that. Now my shot has been decrepified again. Yeah, it's not a common mechanic, the gravity flipping. It is actually used in certain games just for like one level or something. Like, you know, Mega Man 5 has Gravity Man, where there's zones that flip you over. Super Mario Galaxy, of course, has some 2D sections that use some kind of gravity flipping thing. There's probably a bunch of other ones. But in terms of games where it's the core thing that you do to interact with the game world, VVVVV is the main one. There's another one that was a DigiPen project called A Flipping Good Time, because it's all about flipping the gravity. It's a good pun. There's another one called Antipole that was on Xbox Live Indie Games. They were making a remake of it for Antipole DX for 3DS and Wii U, but it sort of got cancelled strangely, like late in the project, and then they're releasing it, or it never got released, but they're gonna eventually release it on PS4 and Steam, I think they said, but that's not back out yet. But the original, yeah, it's this whole thing where you can create a zone of reverse gravity around you that then affects enemies and stuff. It looked pretty interesting. The only other one that I found, okay, I guess that's another witch. I think much like Sabrina, the teenage witch, Wendy has some aunt witch caretakers. That seems to be a common thing in witch fiction for some reason. I don't know. Witchy aunts. I always thought that aunt was kind of a, you know, what do you call it? A pseudonym? What do you call it? For a thing that is not true, not literally true, but hides the truth. Yeah, the stars are definitely powering up my shot more obviously in this level. I don't know what was going on before. Can't figure this out. Stuff. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's one more game I saw on a list, and it's a browser-based mini game that they had for Pokemon. Oh, which one was this one? Inkay and Malamar. That would be X and Y, right? I think I used one in Omega Ruby, so it was out in that generation. Yeah. It was the one where to evolve it, you hold the 3DS upside down. The weird gimmick. That probably still held true in Sun and Moon, right? Because that was still on the 3DS. They're probably going to cut it from Sword and Shield, though. Which neatly avoids that whole, you know, gimmicky evolution technique. Okay, so we flip that and the slime moves to the other pit. Cute. Yeah, anyway, there was a minigame online called Inkei's Topsy-Turvy World, and you're just auto-running along a corridor and you flip from floor to ceiling. I'm sure I've played other mobile games that were similar to that, actually, but I couldn't think of them specifically. But it was fun to see that come back in like this Pokemon low effort mini game online for tiny children. Oh, yikes. I've missed a lot of chat here. See, lack of practice. But here, Tanya's here, I believe. Yeah. With a new name, Bean Bean Streaming. She was talking the other day about making content and doing things and streaming, so they must have set up their Twitch account and all ready to do that kind of thing, so that's nice. Good to see you, Tanya. I liked your pick for the game club this month. Very on brand, Donald Duck going quackers. And I've yet to decide which version of the game I'm going to play, because there's a lot of different releases with different content. Very appropriate for that game because it was made on the Rayman 2 engine, and Rayman 2 similarly has very many different releases that have different content in them. Oops. Okay, so you can, oh boy, you can invert gravity in midair, so I guess to get that star you would have had to drop through and then invert without falling into all the way into the slime at the bottom. But anyway, yes. This game, oh, I'm sorry you're in a bad mood. I hope this cute little witch will cheer you up. She is adorable. Yes, this is licensed based on an IP. Gibbon is explaining that. Good, thank you. Oh, okay. So Tonya set up that account for doing the Banjo Relay, which is a thing that the DK Vine community ran recently, spearheaded by Andrew, our good friend Ape, of course. Gibbon was involved in that too, actually, running Banjo-Kazooie and trading off a save file on the XBLA version of the game and sort of loading that up through cloud syncing or whatever. And then taking turns to stream different worlds of the game. So that sounded like it was a really fun time. Cool stuff. Yeah, the last relay I actually participated in, it was the DKC2 one, which I hosted on this channel earlier in the year. Yes. Are those moon rocks? I don't know. They appeared in that chest at the start and caused the castle to fall to the ground. I was gonna maybe say they were like floatium or whatever that thing is in Journey to the Moon. There's a special metal that they coat the spaceship in that floats or something. It was a plot point in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comic, I believe. What's it called? It was named after its discoverer, so it's just a name. I don't remember it, but clearly it's not that because it's the opposite of that. Probably magic stones, sure. And magic comes from the moon, so yeah, moon rocks. Well, you know, witches do have a lot of ties to the moon. You know, clearly there's much to be made of that in mythology and culture. Especially with it being strongly associated with femininity. Not to put too fine a point on it, but yeah, I'm gonna go with moon rocks. That's pretty cool. I don't really know who the bad guy is in this game, but I assume there's going to be a final boss. You don't know where those little spear guys are. But you can flip them out of the bushes. Nice. Yeah, so to flip gravity, you use the jump button and the up or down direction. And you can do that at any time. And then your other button is to shoot. I don't think select does anything. Oh, Gibbon has found a plot. Very nice. Yeah, I actually was going to say that too, Gibbon. The enemy designs are reminiscent of Wario Land. Especially when I saw that spear guy, I was like, yeah, those spear goom guys, or whatever they're called. I've played Wario Land 3 a lot, and I've always meant to go and try some other ones, but yeah, it's on the list. But yes, I agree. So yes, the plot that Gibbon has found is quoting to us now. One day, Wendy goes into her aunt's attic, finding and opening a chest containing the magical moonstones. Hey, you were right. In doing so, they upset the gravity of the floating moonstone castle, causing it to crash onto her house. Wendy must collect the stones to restore the gravity. Well, that makes sense, and it explains the gameplay mechanic too, so very neatly done. Thanks for finding that for me. Yeah, cool. Well, on the topic, since Tonya asked about it, I'll tell you more about the origin of this IP. So, Wendy the Good Little Witch is one of, like I said, it's a Harvey Comics character. They had a couple of these supernatural type characters who were sort of cute subversions of monster type characters. So you had Wendy the Good Little Witch and Casper the Friendly Ghost. You also had, well, Casper's friend, what was his name? Tough the Spooky Ghost or something. Boo Boo Boy. I don't remember. That's cute. Look at this guy. Wendy even has the Shantae crouch animation, except she doesn't wiggle her bum. Yeah, this game is very much Shantae in terms of graphics. The similarities are very clearly there, and that comes from Matt Bozon, who is the designer for both, along with his wife Erin, actually, who Matt and Erin Bozon both collaborated on making Shantae and this game. And another Bozon is there too in the credits, Mark Bozon, for programming. Let's grab those stars. Yeah, baby. So yeah, it's very recognizably in their style. But anyway, the witch stuff. Oh yeah, I was halfway through a list of other characters. So they had Casper the Friendly Ghost, Wendy the Good Little Witch, and what was the other guy? Hot Stuff the Little Devil. Yeah, a cute little devil man. With the horns and forked tail, etc. So that was very much part of their brand. They also had more normal type characters like Richie Rich and Little Audrey, Little Dot, all that kind of thing. Stuff that nobody these days has heard of, probably. Although they are bringing them back now in their newest incarnation. There's a Netflix show called Harvey Street Kids, which crosses over... Oh, not so. Yeah, it crosses over... Oopsies. Okay, this is bad. It crosses over those three of their prominent or famous characters. Oh, I didn't write their names down. It's Dot and Audrey and someone else. Lotta. Yeah, Lotta, I think. Anyway, stuff. Yes, Richie Rich is part of the shared universe. The theory that I've read is that Casper the Friendly Ghost is actually the ghost of a dead Richie Rich. But, hey, maybe, but people pointing to similarities in character design. Really, a lot of the characters from this company look very similar. For example, Audrey and Dot. They had to change the designs over time to make them more distinctive and to emphasize different aspects, but yeah, they look pretty similar. They've probably crossed over, but yeah, Richie Rich and that, they were part of this company as well. But they were not originally. Now I'll tell you about how it all started. Because, whoopsie. Spooky. Yeah, so Wendy and Casper and that were originally cartoon shorts made by Famous Studio in like the 50s, until Harvey Comics bought the rights off them in 1958. And at that point they were also licensing characters from other places as well. So they were doing like Dick Tracy comics and gosh, all sorts of things. Read their Wikipedia article, they did a lot of stuff. But once they acquired Casper and all that kind of stuff, they really made it their own in the comic sphere for a while. Yeah, reading the article is pretty interesting. There's a long history of licensing deals from them to other companies and them doing other comics based on other things, as well as a list of lawsuits you know, alleging infringements of their characters and such. For example, one of the people involved in the creation of Richie Rich comics at Harvey later went to Marvel and made a character called Royal Roy, who bore quite a lot of similarity, and they sued for that. I think that one was settled out of court. Now I noticed that that enemy actually changed color and behavior when I flipped the gravity. It became faster and brown when it's on the ceiling, so that's interesting. Introducing things like that, where the flip state will affect what enemies do. Yeah. So Wendy didn't start as a Harvey Comics character, but by this point she clearly is. She's had a much longer life with that company and their works. So, whoopsie, okay. You do see her popping up in some Casper games. Casper is probably their strongest brand, I would say. And he, you know, he had that live action movie, like I said, but he's got, whoops, okay, I'm standing on spikes with no worries. That's nice. Yeah, there's been Casper games throughout the years, and she sometimes pops up in them because she's part of the Casper universe kind of thing. But I believe this is the only time she got a game of her own, and it wasn't just a one-off, or it wasn't intended to be. They actually were planning... Oh, it turns brown when it lands on its head and starts moving faster then. So if I flip back... Oh, and then it's red and even faster. Mario Brothers style. Okay. Now it's really hard to deal with. I'm pretty lucky it didn't hit me right there. Okay. So, yeah, this game didn't just come out of nowhere. It was supposed to accompany a rebooted animated series with new designs for the character. So if you look up Wendy the Good Little Witch, she doesn't look exactly like this, or the way she does on the cover art, because in-game it's very Matt Bozon style. But yeah, they redesigned the character, and we're going to launch this new cartoon show. But so there's some concept art of that online apparently, but that particular project never actually happened. But they had commissioned a licensed game for it, which did come out. It's sort of like a Conker's Pocket Tales situation, except that, you know, 12 Tales, Conker Quest 64 eventually did get released in a different form. But yeah, there must be other examples of this kind of thing, where you've got an adaptation of something that does get released, and then the original work that it's based on ends up cancelled, because often, you know, they're working on these things at the same time for a simultaneous release or close to. But it's just really funny when the cartoon was cancelled, but, you know, they still went ahead and made the game and released it. So that's nice. I wonder if it sold well. Probably not. But this is the strength of WayForward, is they were able to, you know, they get a license, but they still make an interesting and fun game out of it. I'm reminded of their recent The Mummy Demastered, which, you know, it's based on a big Hollywood blockbuster movie, but the game, a lot of people say the game is actually better than how the movie turned out. But they use the game as a way to experiment with some interesting mechanics of, yeah, in The Mummy it's like your player character can die in the world, and then you start as somebody else wearing the same, you know, costume, who then goes out and you can find your old character who is now a zombie or whatever, and you fight them. Yeah. Ooh, new area. So those transition scenes that are like shmups are sort of taking you between worlds, I guess. I haven't been counting how many levels there are, but yeah, here we can see there's an enemy character here who can flip the gravity just as we can, which changes things up a bit. Wonder if I can shoot it. Nope. And this reminds me of the magnet mechanics in one of the Shantae dungeons, which turn you blue and red, and then things happen. Anyway, stuff. So, let me see. Did I cover the animated series? I believe I did. Yeah, I called it sort of that this is a sort of orphan project. It was supposed to be attached to this cartoon, but because of the cancellation of the original thing, it's become a sort of orphan thing that still exists on its own. But anyway, let me see here. Yes, chat is going. Let me see if I can sneak a look at it. Oh, what? Really? I didn't. What? Given saying that Felix the cat is also a Harvey Comics character. How did I miss that on the Wikipedia article? Is that true? Felix the cat? Wow. Okay, that Felix the cat is definitely their most famous character. But whether... Surely Felix is older than that. Harvey... I don't know. Well, there we go. I guess I learned something today. Eh. This is tough. Alright. So... You can't really do mid-air like movement the way I'm trying to do it right here. Yeah, that was bad. Let's try that again, shall we? We'll be a bit more sensible about it. Oops. Oh! Oh, of course, I have no stars right now. So I die in one hit. Let's fix that. Oh. I'm pretty dumb, aren't I? And yes, Baby Huey, who is a giant duck wearing a nappy. Kind of a strange character, but yeah, Baby Huey is another one of their famous things. I hadn't actually heard of Baby Huey, but their name came up a few times, so clearly a well-known character in some circles. Dun, dun, dun. Ah, okay. So what do I do now exactly? I can jump out this way and then flip. That's the thing. Once you get a jumping start and then flip the gravity, that's when things change for you, I think. But you can't just float through the air and then flip, flip, flip. I'm sure there's a game where you can do that. Yeah. I'm thinking of like Gravity Rush, that's another one, but in 3D space where you can control the direction of gravity at any time. That's pretty interesting. Sony games. But yes, to continue with chat, Tanya's asking if I played the Walt Disney World racing game, and yes, indeed I did. on Game Boy Color at least. That version of it. Pretty interesting stuff. It actually came up the other day. Somebody asked how many games involved both dinosaurs and pirates. And there's a Pirates of the Caribbean track and a dinosaur track in that game. Dinosaur, the movie from Disney, of course. Sort of live action CG hybrid thing. Oh, back to the start. Yeah. And then this way. Got a bit of a maze here. Good to fill up that. Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Wendy's jump is actually higher than I think, but it's not quite high enough to get up there. Oh yeah, made it. Gibbon says, that game is the best part of that attempt at a franchise. Oh no, that was so long ago that now I've forgotten what the context of that is. I'm so sorry. That game is the best part. Game. I was talking about games. Ouch. Oh well. Let me see now. The Mummy. Got it. Thanks. Yeah. There were a lot of earlier Mummy games based on the Brendan Fraser movies. I wonder if any of them are good. I doubt it. Oh, actually, connection. There was, so part of the Mummy 2, I think, is the Scorpion King, played by Dwayne Johnson. And then he got his own spin-off movie about the Scorpion King. And WayForward did a video game based on that. So the Game Boy Advance game, Scorpion King, Sword of Osiris, is, yeah, one of those typical WayForward, like really well animated action, 2D action games. Alright, what am I supposed to do now? Alright, I can flip and get, and then he can run out of the way. And then flip back. Oh! Hey, wake up, dude. I guess he's been bonked too many times and become dizzy. I didn't know that was a thing. Great. So that's another way to deal with that enemy. Oh, it still hurts me though. Oh, okay. Oh, nasty. So the dizziness doesn't last that long. Ow, seriously? Oh yeah, flip. Flipping. It's a way to deal with enemies. Remember that. Okay. It's getting a little more difficult here as we go on, isn't it? Yes, okay, cool. So Tonya was Googling Felix the Cat, and apparently they held the license at one point, perhaps. Yeah, I'm not sure if Felix is a completely quote-unquote Harvey Comics character, but they might have done work with him at one point. Yeah, given saying that he thinks they just did one run of the comics, so yep, that makes sense. To me, that makes more sense. I didn't think he was in that stable, you know. Whoa, things are getting wild. Multiple flippers on screen at once. Wow. It's all too easy to just fall the wrong way. Quick, quick. Yes, made it. Oh, this is too crazy. Quick. Oh no. This must be the end. Cool. Another moon rock down. Let me see. Tonya says, Baby Huey is a vaguely obscure vintage character. Yeah, I'd never heard of them. And yes, Tonya remembers me playing Walt Disney World. Magical Quest Racing something something. It's got a really complicated name. Because the new Epcot Forever show premiered and it referenced Test Track, which I assume had a track. Oh, it wasn't referencing Dinosaurs the movie, but Dinosaur the attraction, which later added one reference to the movie. Wow, gosh. I'm glad you're here. You're the real expert on this stuff. I did not know that. I really thought that was a reference to the movie. Alright, so this is just a few jumps. Ow! Probably should have done this in upside down mode. Okay, I damage boosted through. Ah! Forget that happened. Ah! Wow, this game is actually getting difficult. Oh, nuts. Poor little Wendy. Okay. I need that star. Yes. She's so cute and happy. This game really did start off kind of gentle, but they are ramping it up. And I've heard that the advanced levels are even harder than anything else in the game. I've got to jump. Yep, easy peasy. Wow, I'm enjoying this. The mechanics, very interesting stuff. Yeah, I never would have guessed that Dinosaur was an unrelated attraction, but you know, everything in that game was based on Disney World attractions. I have been to Disney World but once, when I was a wee young'un. You can drop their own bombs back on them, very clever. Take that. Nice. And the skeletons hang on. That's cute. I think that was a bit of a fault with the audio right there. Instead of playing one of the sound clips, it just played a high-pitched noise. Hopefully that sound is coming through. Although the music isn't that amazing. They didn't have Jake Kaufman on board yet. His soundtracks are always incredible. You know, not to disparage this guy too much, but... Ah! Yeah, you can tap and do a little jump. Boop, boop. Jump. Yes, the solution to that puzzle was to jump. Single jump. Oh. Yeah, let me know if you think of any other gravity flipping games. It's a really interesting mechanic. Ah, okay. There's a lot of potential to it. I can tell things are getting a little more puzzly here. Sometimes I've just been tanking damage through an obstacle, but with some careful planning, should be able to solve everything here. Oh. Nice voice clips. Yeah. Yeah, so I talked about Harvey Comics acquiring some characters, licensing them over time, etc. Now, Harvey Comics was around at the time of this game. We saw their logo at the start there, but they don't really exist as a company anymore. In current days, all of their characters and IP and rights and whatever has changed hands and is now in the employ of Universal Studios, or at least the same parent company, MCA. So even before that, there was Harvey stuff at Universal Studios theme parks, I believe. But it was Universal who was behind the live-action movies, so as far back as that, they had that connection with the Harvey properties. And oh, is this the last boss? Is that dragon? Okay, we got a shoot 'em up based boss and moon rocks. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if this is the end. I've only been going for half an hour. Come on, 40 minutes. So this clearly is not working. I gotta hit these rocks. Maybe juggle them up if I hit them multiple times? Let's find out. Nope. Oh, I can invert gravity. Clever. So that's what I gotta do. I never tried it in these stages before. I guess that would help you get some of those stars that were falling down the screen. So it's pretty simple. Wait for the rock to come out, shoot it, and then invert. And it only shoots a rock straight forward so far. So yeah, not too difficult. But as I was saying, yeah, there is a current show called The Harvey Street Kids, which is made by DreamWorks, who are owned by Universal, so I followed the breadcrumbs. But yeah, it's all in their wheelhouse now. Oh, and there's a new Richie Rich show as well on Netflix as well, which is done by a DreamWorks live action department of some kind. It sounded pretty rubbish to me, but the Harvey Street Kids show looks really cute and cool. But I don't think anything is currently being done with Wendy and Caspar. They might have comics, I don't know. Ah, okay. No wonder nothing was changing. There's multiple stages to this. You shoot the rock, you invert, and then you shoot the dragon. Wendy just looks so happy. Yeah, at one point, Marvel was going to do some comics, and then that fell through. Okay, so that's it. Maybe? That was a boss, but was it the final boss? Yep, I guess so. Here's our ending cinematic. This is a very short game. I'm glad the health system was kind of forgiving, otherwise I wouldn't have cleared it as quickly as I did. Yes, given cluing me in on the gravity mechanic before I figured it out in the chat, thank you. Yeah, so here's our look into an alternate universe. What a 2001 Wendy animated series might have looked like. This is all that remains. That music is really quiet. I'm gonna turn that up. For some reason the credits music is quieter than anything else in the game. Yeah, Dinosaurs the movie. Of course, Disney also owns Dinosaurs, the Jim Henson sitcom. I'm the baby, gotta love me. So there you go. Aaron Bozon on character animation. Matt Bozon is design and some other stuff. I wasn't reading it. Yeah, lots of people. Very talented people. Oh, Bryn Bozon. Is that a typo, or is there another Bozon? That might be another relative or child or something. So many Bozons over at WayForward. But yeah, like I said, WayForward, full of talented people. Some of them, at least one left and formed Yacht Club Games to make Shovel Knight, so that's part of the lineage of the company as well. Alright, that's it. You know what? Maybe hard would have been more my speed. Let me see real quick what that does to the game. I'm not sure. Do I have less time or something? Maybe there's more enemies? I don't know. Well, you know what I said I would do is play the advanced levels, so I'm going to load that up. Yes, quit please. So this should work perfectly. I tested this before. Start this one. And then I'll have to swap over the window. Game window. OBS menus. How exciting. That one. Okay. And it's all just selectable from the title screen. I'll turn the music down again. Cool. Yeah, this particular emulator renders the graphics a little bit differently, so it ends up being more brighter and more colorful. Oh, you can see the whole artwork now. That's nice. Yeah. Cool. All right, so yes, Harvey Entertainment Company. That's sort of the successor to Harvey Comics, I believe. My controller isn't set up. Hold on a second. What a foolish fool I was. Device. Yep, okay. Right down, up. A, nope. A, B, start, select doesn't do anything, and that should do us. Okay, great. Advanced world. Question mark. Yeah, it's also rendering the sound louder, I believe, so I'll turn that down a bit more. Okay, oops. Cool. Continuation. Oh, wow. Everything's glass baubles. A bit abstract. That's interesting. This reminds me of in Mighty Switch Force. In the last set of levels in that game, you sort of enter this weird cyberspace area where all the blocks are just outlines and everything's more abstract. Oops. What? I see. Maybe this is what hard mode does. You die no matter how many stars you have if you hit spikes. That might be it. So I guess Advanced World is on hard mode by default, probably. Yeah, I like this aesthetic. What does this remind me of? Probably a million things. Oh, nuts. And I did have my rewind features. This is one of the things I was talking about. Why I prefer the other emulator is it's got easy rewind setup. I could use save states as well. What are the buttons for that? Yeah, quick freeze, quick defrost. Okay. Actually, I'll map that to my controller to make it even easier on myself. Here, I'll show you what happens. Quick freeze, this one, quick defrost, that one. Yeah, cheesing it. I do want enough time to show off the second game on our little collection today. Save. Got it. Oops. Oh, I can actually make out what she said because the sound's a little louder now. She says, "Oh, rats," when she dies. Oh, rats. Very cute. Impressive that they crunched those speech samples down onto the Game Boy Color. They didn't really translate too well, I gotta say, but nice anyway. Drop off here? No. Oh, that's right. I was having this issue with this emulator before, where the key mapping stopped working. I had a like freeze and defrost button set up, and there was just a weird bug with it. I don't know. So I won't be able to rely on that as much as I thought, apparently. Okay, so jump and then flip. Okay. This emulator. It's really good. It's the one that has good support for Super Game Boy stuff and palettes and things. It's called KIGB, Mac port by Richard Bannister, which are normally quite excellent. I believe the core that OpenEMU is using is Gambate QT from memory. Ah, pigs. Okay, what do I do now? Great. Yeah, this is Fiendish Dudes and Dudettes. Did the voice clips come from the show that never happened? I'm gonna guess no. Because some of WayForward's other games do have voice clips. I don't know if GBC's Shantae does actually, so probably not. When a cartoon gets cancelled, like, the voice recording is surely one of the later things that happens, right? You do animation first. Or do you? Or do they do the voices and then they animate to what the people say? I'm so ignorant. I know nothing about how cartoons are made. I'm sorry. Yeah, but my impression was that the cartoon was actually cancelled pretty early on in development. I guess what I'm trying to say is, my guess is that they did the voices in-house at WayForward. But it's not out of the realm of possibility, I suppose, that they had done some voice work and they got them in. You know what? The credits would probably tell us. Once again, I should have paid attention. The credits are all up on Moby Games if you want to check it out yourself. I am a bit busy right now. But I would like to know the answer to that question. We gotta go for it, right? Yeah, baby. I am the best witch. Not like that Disney show. That was Disney, right? The Worst Witch? Is the Worst Witch the origin of anything can happen on Halloween? Or am I conflating something? So many witch television shows. Charmed, of course. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Spoiler alert, I might be playing some Sabrina games later in the month. Bewitched, of course. But there's a lot of, like, young witch shows, particularly. Ah! Nasty. Pfft, okay, fine. I'll flip like the game wants me to. Now what's going on here? Yeah, I have to move the thwomp. While I'm waiting for this block to fall. Oh no, it fell. So, how's everyone feeling? Pretty spooky? If you have any ideas for which games, I kind of have a slot open because technical issues have kind of got in the way of me doing one of the things I wanted to do. Oh, rats. On top of which, I think I have to... Actually, no, that knocks out a slot. I have to work in 2 weeks, I think. I won't be able to stream again, unfortunately. So maybe I'll be fine. Ah, rats. What's the solution here? Short hop? Not short enough. Okay, that was it. Yes, it's October. Couldn't you tell? Hasn't everyone changed their profile names already to stupid variants? God, 30 days of dumb puns. I hate it. On Discord yesterday I said I was a Halloween Scrooge. And yet here I am playing spooky games all October. I'm just a sucker for a theme month, what can I say? Tony says, it's a beautiful game, like the sprite work for GBC. Yeah, definitely. Yes, you're right. They did do a Shrek-themed virtual pet game. It's based on like Shrek, I don't know if it's 3 or 4, the one where they all have babies. It's called like Shrek Ogres and Dronkies. And you look after baby ogres and baby donkey dragon hybrids in the usual virtual pet manner. Touchscreen patting and feeding and that kind of thing. There's a billion of those types of games on DS. That's one of their more kind of cash grab-y kind of license games. Some of their license games have a lot of work and originality and effort put into them. But, you know, that can't be the case all the time. Sometimes you just got to get paid. Which I do not begrudge them at all. But yeah, it's very, you know, fortuitous that it turned out that this licensed game also was a really well-made little puzzle platformer. Licensed games don't have to be bad. Oops, rats. No bushes for you to hide in, my friend. Okay, what's the dealio? But yeah, I've been on a huge WayForward kick recently. I played Shantae, Risky's Revenge, and then Pirate's Curse, with the idea that Seven Sirens, the latest one, was just released on Apple Arcade, and I'll do a little month subscription to that. There's a free trial, actually, I think, so I'll do that first of all. And yeah, play that, and play Sonic Racing, and Rayman Mini. A lot of fun stuff there for me to look forward to, but Shantae first of all. And to prepare for that, I hadn't yet played Pirate's Curse at all, or Half Genie Hero, which I backed for. Yeah, I can't figure out how to get past these guys, so let's just tank the damage. Woo! So yeah, for Half Genie Hero, I was sort of waiting for all the DLC to be completed, and it was ages ago, but that's the reason that I didn't play it at launch. So that's next on my list, and then it's kind of interesting actually, seeing how, you know, there was a sort of GBA game planned, which was cancelled and then shifted into Risky's Revenge on DSi, but they redid all the graphics for that. and then reused a lot of those animations and sprites for Pirate's Curse. Alright, I get it. I know what I'm doing. Jump, then flip, and then you have time to get out of the way. Yeah, see? That's how it works. And yeah, similarly for Half Genie Hero, they redrew everything in the vector animation style as opposed to sprites. And then they've reused those for Seven Sirens, so, or Shantae 5 as it was known before being fully revealed. Not so. No problem. Moonrock Gat. Yeah, and that whole sprite to vector thing, you can see it happening in the Mighty series as well. Oh, okay, that was Advanced World down. Cool. That was tough. Yeah, they really did intend that one to be played after everything else, didn't they? Alright, let's keep a close eye on the credits now. Yeah, but after Shantae, I started playing some of the Mighty games, and we're actually going to play one right now after this, which was inspired partially by some of the mechanics in this game. So yeah, the Mighty series started with Mighty Flip Champs on DSiWare, and then there was Mighty Milky Way, also on the same platform, and then they did Mighty Switch Force on 3DS, and then a sequel to Mighty Switch Force 2, and then a couple of spin-offs. But it's interesting, after they did 2, they went back and ported 1 to the Wii U and changed the way that the graphics were done. I was watching that. I don't think I noticed any voice credits, but I was also talking through it, so kind of splitting my attention. But yeah, my point is that Mighty Switch Force Hyperdrive Edition, the remake of the first game, changes all the sprite graphics to use vectorized, sort of cartoonish, smooth line graphics. But I played them in the order of the first game and then the second game, and the second game hasn't had that treatment, so it was going from vectors back to old sprite things. It was a little jarring. Well, more just interesting, really. But anyway, stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. Okay. Oh, given saying he doesn't have any iOS devices, I'm sorry. If you consider it a gaming platform worth investing in, you can get a pretty cheap iPod Touch secondhand, I guess. But there's problems with that because games don't last forever. They eventually get removed from the App Store when they don't get updated. You know, the operating system gets updated and the games don't. They just drop out of compatibility. It sucks. Alright, I actually have the credits list up on my phone and I'm scrolling through and I don't see any voice credits either. So maybe... Let me see. There's some WayForward people credited in special thanks, as well as people from Hearst Entertainment. So maybe someone from Hearst Entertainment was involved in a cartoon that didn't get made. So whether Leslie Levine and Tig Penner are just like, you know, business people, or whether one of them is responsible for voice acting, that would require further research. But if you want to look up those names, those are in the special thanks section. But yeah, we're halfway through the stream now, I guess, so now's a good time to change up what we're doing. Alright. So, like I said, Mighty Flip Champs was the first in the quote-unquote mighty sort of series of spiritually related games. They're all puzzle platformers put out by WayForward with original characters. You can see ta-da. Okay, here we go. So what I'm playing today is not the DSiWare version, but the re-release, which was put out for PSN, playable on PS3 and PSP, and also Vita. Oh, Okay, that went away. I hope it's okay. Tell me if there's like performance problems. I'll maybe try adjusting some options, but the emulator just told me that it was being choppy. Ooh, hope this runs okay. Cool. Why is that? No, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, so this is sort of a re-release of the game with new graphics, much like the Hyperdrive edition of Mighty Switch Force. You know what? They're not that different. Okay, how does this work exactly? I have one button here, and it's for flipping. And it looks like the active screen is the one on the left. On DSiWare, it was vertically flipped, so you had bottom screen and top screen, and flipping changed things between those, but they've sort of mirrored it horizontally here instead, because of the screen size differences, clearly. Let me see. Can I actually jump? I can't jump, but I can climb, it looks like. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the left is what's happening to my actual character. Hey, a sign, let's talk to it. And the right shows you what would happen if I flip the screen. The sign's not talking to me. Okay, so I'll just have to go over here. And then flip. And then I can fall down here. Very cute. And yeah, the inactive screen is like wobbly and wavy, I guess. Tells you that it's not like the active thing that's happening. Yeah, so this is like the PSP release. Unfortunately, this is not available to me because I guess it was never released in Australia. So the PSN version is this version I'm playing now is North America exclusive. But the DSiWare version is actually still available. Not through the DSi itself, because that whole shop has been shut down, but all the DSiWare catalog for your region, at least the stuff that, you know, was still licensed and available, can be bought on the 3DS eShop and then played through a 3DS. It's not ideal because I never like playing DS software on my 3DS because of the display resolution differences. So you do have options there. When the game launches, the default is this mode that I think is actually pretty ugly, where it blows it up to fill the screen, but that means that there's a lot of blurriness, which is especially noticeable for sprite-based games. And you're able to hold start when launching a piece of DS software on your 3DS, which boots it in a sort of pixel perfect compatibility mode. So it looks much crisper, but then it's a sort of smaller display on your screen that's letterboxed with a huge black border. So then your actual view is a lot smaller. Yeah. Whoops. Oh yeah. Wait. Am I stuck? Oh, I can climb this. I gotta say, I love the sprites in this game. Very cute, very tiny, and I love that. Yeah, a little movement at a time. Yeah, cool stuff. So this character is called Alta, A-L-T-A, and she has some kind of magic wand that lets her flip the world state. Can I grab as I fall? Yes, I can. Oops. Oh, that was close, dude. Okay. Oh! Oh, I missed the cat. Oops. Right. Alta is very unathletic. She cannot jump. And I don't know who these cows are, but they're very cute. Anyway, so I think maybe my idea... Oh, okay. I get this now. Okay. there's not just two different states in this level. There's many, many states with different colors, and we're flipping between them all. So the second screen here just shows you the next one along in the sequence, of which there are many. So we actually need to sort of backtrack to get that cat somehow. I can't do it right now, so I'm gonna have to flip until, and then I fall down. Oh, that's tough. It's really tough. Yeah, maybe I overstated the the similarities, but the fact that, you know, you're flipping the state of the world between different physical things, I don't know. Bit of a stretch maybe. But I sort of am going into these blind, so I think from what I read it was like, oh, this is a similar kind of thing that they were doing between Wendy Every Which Way and Mighty Flip Champs. And they've definitely both got the puzzle platformer elements, and Mighty Switch Force has its combat as well, so it's not like Wendy is out of the ordinary there. Oh, okay, yeah. This is actually kind of brain testing quite a bit. But yes, Tonya's saying that they like these weirdos. I agree. I like the character design. It's always a strength of Matt Bozon's games, of course. You can actually see them all sort of together in iDarb, hashtag IDARB on the Xbone and PC, I think. It's a Microsoft game. With a whole lot of guest characters. Oh. It's a little 2D, like, silly sports, kind of sci-fi soccer kind of thing, where there's a lot of available characters and all little pixel art type things. There must be a way to read these signs. Nope, not that button. I tried. I shouldn't have tried that. I gotta try a different button. The UI here is very much Risky's Revenge. It's from the same era. So just as Wendy Every Which Way has that close similarity to Shantae, and indeed Extreme Sports on the Game Boy Color. What's this? What? Okay, I pressed R and a square appeared, and then I tried to move it, but I was still moving my character. I don't know. Yes, iDarb, the DKU adventure before Smash Brothers, says Tonya. So it's not up or down to interact with this. All the face buttons do the swap. L removes the box, R puts a box there. I don't know what the box is for. Oh! Yeah, you can do that in Mighty Switch Force as well. The gimmick for that game is that you are swapping between two states for all the blocks on the level, and they either go into the background or the foreground. And if you're in front of a block, when you switch it from back to fore, it'll slam you just like that. Select, start. I cannot interact with the sign at all. Alright, so what do I have to do here exactly? Can I swap while falling? I can. So I drop off and then swap. That's the key. Yeah. Alright. So I fall and then with timing, land there. There we go. So timing is coming into it now. But yeah, iDarb, pretty cool. It had a rare team, which is what Tonya was alluding to. It's part of the Donkey Kong universe because it's got a bunch of rare characters as a team. Teams have 8 characters and they're all like tiny pixel versions, which is right up my alley in terms of the artwork that I make. You know, pixelated representations of a bunch of characters that are very low resolution. That is very much my thing. So, alright, we need to get to that gap. I'm glad it shows you where it's going to be. So if I stand here and then flip, beautiful. Oh. Woof. Oh no. A bit too early there. yes, so along with, you know, the Rare team, there was also, I think, a team that was just Killer Instinct as well, because that was the remake, you know, was out at the time. Okay, so if I fall down here... Oh, what? I guess I'll try and fall in that shaft instead of trying to get it right at the end there. And yeah, iDub, it also had a WayForward team, which is what I was getting to. It had a bunch of different guest characters from different games, but yeah, the WayForward team had Shantae, Risky Boots. Oh no, yep, I just did the thing I said I wasn't going to do, but I actually pulled it off this time. Great. So I'm going to go over here. Shantae, Risky Boots, Roddy Tops, and Sky, all from the Shantae games. And then there were... The second group of 4 was other WayForward characters. So you had the 3 from the Mighty games. Alta, here. Luna from Mighty Milky Way, which is a game where you're a little alien woman who jumps between planetoids and there's gravity involved. So actually that's probably closer to Wendy Every Which Way than this is, but I can't... You can't emulate DSiWare, and DSiWare in North America is the only platform that Mighty Milky Way is available. It didn't get a release over here, unfortunately. Nor did it get an updated re-release like this did. Okay, so what's the deal? I've kind of just gone in a whole circle and ended up back where I started. So I haven't gained anything. So I have to do something differently this time. Yeah, so you had Alta, Luna, Patricia Wagon from Mighty Switch Force 1 and 2. And nuts. And the last character was actually Guppy from Extreme Sports, which I played on the Game Boy Color. So it was this cool all-female team of original WayForward heroines, which is a really nice little thing. I think you can see it on, like, Jake Kaufman's Twitter or something, a picture of them all together. If you just Google, like, iDub WayForward. iDub WayForward. Yeah. Here we go. Oh. Nope, that's not the answer. Not yet. But I'm getting closer. Alright, let's go over here. Now what? Oh, man. I gotta go this way. This isn't just the same thing I did before, right? Okay, if I fall here... No, what? I have to get over there, don't I? Okay. And it flips every time, hence the name. This is dastardly. Okay, what if I go in that little gap? Is that the answer? Yeah, I want to get to that sort of L-shaped. Oh, no, the Z-shaped one. I don't have any options here. Oh, good question. What are these characters doing? What is the lore? So, in every level, Alta has to get to her fishman friend, who then teleports her away. Why are they doing this? Well, let me see. Is there an in-game manual? No. This was a digital-only game, you know. Did DSiWare games have digital manuals? I don't know. I didn't even know that. Maybe your best chance would be to check, like, the PSN store listing, and that would give you a summary of what the game is about. But as I said, I can't access the right store in my region, to see the game, you know? Yeah, I definitely need to get to that block over there, but how do I do that? I wish I could see more than one screen ahead. Alright. I need to be up there. Well, this is new. So how far do I go? Yeah, this far. This is it. Yeah. Gibbon says, who knows? He only knows about Patricia Wagon. Yes, Patricia Wagon is a cyborg cop from the future. Oh! Is that the end? Or, like, is this the last level? Or is it just going to keep scrolling down? I don't know. I don't know how this works. But I'm going to leave this on the screen for a little bit, and I can probably look up the store page for it. Might try to kick me out for being in the wrong region, but let me try to access the US store. PSN, Mighty Flip Champs. Yeah, Patricia Wagon. Unclear if she's a robot or a cyborg, because there's some, like, animations where her skin comes off and she's got metal skin underneath. So yeah, she might actually be in the running for the list of robot games. But yeah, she is a police officer in the future apprehending a gang of ladies. Oh yeah, because I'm logged in, it's trying to kick me out, so... And then she becomes a firefighter for some reason. And that gang of criminals helps her. That's the story of the second game. Alright, I'm on the store page. Are you ready to become a mighty flip champ? Take control of Altar and page flip through a series of action-packed mazes, displayed in a unique mirrored format. When it's time to flip, use Altar's magic warp wand to replace her world with the next one. Will she land safely on solid ground or be crushed under it? By cycling endlessly through room after brain-busting room, you'll match your wits with some of the most devious traps in puzzle platforming history. That tells us absolutely nothing, so perhaps there'll be more information on, like, a website for the game or WayForward's website or something like that. But we will not be finding that out right now. Oh, Tanya's saying some studio has just filed for bankruptcy. I don't know who you're talking about, unfortunately. But that is bad news. Oh! What happened? It, like, forced a flip on me. One question mark. I guess this might just be a really short game. Oh boy. Okay. So, much like the little enemies in, you know, Wendy, that flipped the gravity for us, we're getting forcibly flipped here by this alarm clock. Well, not by it, but it's telling us that a flip is about to happen. Actually, this is really similar to what happened in Mighty Switch Force as well. Both of those games, when you get to the last, basically the last level, as well as the last bonus level in the first game, things change and you no longer have control of the switching mechanic. You have to... Oh, nuts. Oh, good. We just made it through that. And by the way, the soundtrack is getting really cool and intense right now. This is Jake Kaufman at his best. Okay. This is testing my brain. Okay. Let's go here. Yep. I can do that. Yeah, so it becomes a really crazy timing-based thing where you have to jump. Oh no! I misread the situation. Yeah, you gotta jump with the right timing for when the automatic switch happens. Oh, it's so fiendish. It's a real change of pace. It makes the game a lot more intense than it was before. Alright. Who are you talking about, Tanya? Who's filed for bankruptcy? You can't just drop something like that and then not tell me. Alright, let's bust through all this. Cool. Oh, I see. The game actually keeps track of how many flips you've done, as well as the time taken. Oh, Alpha Dream. Oh no. That's sad. I mean, I gotta say I was pretty disappointed with what they've been doing lately with the Mario and Luigi games, but for them to just go under, that's unfortunate. Ever since Paper Jam Bros. Oh, damn it. Again. Alright, we can do this. Apparently this game is even shorter than Wendy Every Which Way, if this is the last level, which I don't know, but I'm gonna assume it is. Yeah, that sucks. I really liked the first 3 Mario and Luigi games. First 4, actually. Dream Team Bros is good too. But then they did Paper Jam Bros, which is really utterly boring, and then the remakes, which are really pointless. So, yeah, it's just been a slow decline, I think. But for them to... Now they won't have any more chances, you know? Ugh. That sucks. Oh, I did it again! I did the same thing again! No, I would not assume that Rare or Playtonic was bankrupt. Of course not. Playtonic is just about to release a game. Report just came out. Go Nintendo reported on it. Yeah, that's right. As well as the remakes, they've just been doing mobile titles, and Tonya says a Sony game that apparently bombed. I don't know what game that is. Yeah, the remakes may have had some good stuff, but... like... They were also kind of pointless. And they also removed a lot of stuff, strangely. You know, not too much, but just thinking of things like how in the Superstar Saga... Oh, I can't believe I do that every time. I really got to look closer. You'd think I would learn, wouldn't you? Yeah, like in Superstar Saga Remake, Psycho Kamek is replaced by a toad. Bink, the Kong skeleton, is replaced by a normal humanoid skeleton. There's just little things like that that didn't sit well with me, but, you know, that's just nitpicking, really. Yes, it's because they shunned the Shroobs, it's the only explanation, says Gibbon. Yeah, if they'd done a Partners in Time remake, they would still be around today, mark my words. Seriously, like, that is my favorite of the Mario and Luigi games. Everyone else, it seems to be their least favorite, but I really loved it. Had all the enhancements that the DS platform brought with graphics and everything else, but without all the gimmicky touchscreen stuff that Bowser's Inside Story had. And it had a fun time travel story that let you revisit the setting of, I can't believe I did it again. Ah! Okay, cool stuff. You ready to watch this level again? Yeah, I would say that the fault is definitely with Nintendo there on the reason why all the latter Mario and Luigi games are boring and pointless. No new content, no new anything, etc. That's obviously coming down from above. But yeah, that's even more tragic because it's the creative decisions from Nintendo that caused this company to be less successful, which has then contributed to them shutting down, I think. So, yikes. Yeah, that really sucks. The Mario series. Yes. See, the sign... You can't read the sign, but I think it's like a little help to tell you something, to tell you to pay attention, sort of. Oh, no! I wasn't paying attention. Alright, yep. Let me see. Maybe it was the Bowser's Inside Story remake bombing. Extra game modes had good stories with new characters and stuff. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, Tonya's continuing to carry the bean torch. Absolutely, that's a big thing that they sort of contributed to the Mario series, was the beanish characters, setting, and lore, which has really taken off in some circles among people that I know, including Tonya, who has a whole bean sona and really loves Prince Peasley, etc. So that's really cool stuff. Yeah, it's too bad they never got to do that kind of stuff again, eh? Remake bombing, putting games on other platforms, maybe keep it at one remake. Has anyone done a translation patch for Tomato Adventure? That's a really good question. As Gibbon says, it's basically Mario and Luigi Zero. Yeah, all the same combat mechanics and stuff are there in Tomato Adventure on the Game Boy Advance, which they did just before Superstar Saga. I don't know if somebody's done a fan translation. I remember Marto, Clyde Mandolin, was talking about that game, maybe streaming it with like on the fly translations or something like that. I don't remember if there's a full fan fan translation of it. Okay, what am I doing? Moving over here. Great. Yes, that's it. That's the solution. We did it. Hello, Fishman. Oh no, don't say that, Tonya. Our only hope is Paper Mario. Gosh, I gave up on hope on that, like, I don't know. When was Sticker Star? That many years ago. Oh, there's more. Okay, next stage. 2-1 now. Okay, cool. That wasn't the end. The game's not that short. We've got more to do. Oh, we have a new background. Lovely. Yeah, because, you know, Mighty Switch Force only had 16 levels, plus some bonus ones that were DLC originally, but were there by default in the Hyperdrive re-release. Mighty Switch Force 2 only had 16 levels, did not get DLC or a re-release at all. So I sort of thought maybe this one was just as short or shorter. Ah, I see. This is where the cows come into it. We've got a cat friend, now we have cow friends. And I gotta say, this new background and the new song, lovely, amazing. What's going on here? There's definitely a ladder here, right? I guess I'll have to flip. No, there's only 2 worlds in this one. Again, back to 2. Oh, okay. I guess I was too low down, so my feet weren't grabbing the ladder and just falling off. Alright, how do we go about this? Like this. Hello, cow friend. Okay, so now what? Now we're back to square one, but we have the cow. Yeah, all of these in Mighty Switch Force as well. It's open for people who want to repeat the level and get better at it because there's a timer there and you know, a flip counter. The game doesn't. It only implicitly encourages that by counting your time and flips. So it's there if you want to try for it and get better. But I don't particularly care about that kind of thing. It gives me a ranking too, I just noticed. Yes, definitely. Tomato Adventure also had similar art to Superstar Saga. Some furries think that Tanya just made up the bean stuff. People are claiming that Nintendo should buy Alpha Dream. Yeah, why would they? They didn't? Yeah, I don't know about the rare comparison, Tanya. That was a long time ago, but I get your point. Is that too late? I got caught out a lot in Mighty Switch Force. Oh, not so. By the hitboxes of the characters just being a little off from where I expected and getting hit by the blocks. That's not happening as much in this game because they're so squat. Which is an asset in this case. Okay, so timing. Good. Yay! Gibbon's going to be sad about Alpha Dream. While continuing to lament the lack of a new Crystal Chronicles game, another Dead Side franchise. And I'm going to lament that they never made a sequel to Final Fantasy Mystic Quest on the SNES. I love that game. It was basically Lufia, but sort of pitched for a younger audience, so a lot of systems that you normally get in JRPGs were simplified. But they also had like the enemies visible on the map and action items like hookshot and bow and that kind of thing that you could use, just like Lufia had. And amazing soundtrack, I gotta say, on Mystic Quest. Check that out. The battle theme, mwah. Right, I'm gonna enjoy this music a little bit and try and look up some lore for this game. Mighty Flip Champs. WayForward.com. It's just the same description that they have on the PSN. Official site is dead. Okay. So we can try going to archive.org with this micro.wayforward.com/mightyflipchamps. I'll do that real quick. Hello, Wayback Machine. True, it was also the first Final Fantasy game to have a multi-form end boss. Yeah, the Dark Lord guy turned into a giant spider and stuff. It's crazy. There was a really cool way to cheese the final boss too. If you just use the basic cure spell on him, it does like 3,000 damage, which otherwise you only do hundreds. Oh, I see. It's all flipped upside down. That's cute. No, what's going on here? There's just like screenshots and fan art. There's no lore description on this microsite. It was on archive.org. Art, videos, and contacts. Yeah, that's all. So there's like a trailer, but you know, don't know if it'll tell us anything about the lore. Alright, let's play the game. So, there's no lore that I could find, so let's make up our own, shall we? So Altar has the magic dimension wand, which lets her flip between these dimensions. So she's trapped in a dimensional nonsense verse. It's like Sliders. She's trying to find a way home. And while she's here, she met a fishman who lives here. No, the fishman was her friend before, and he has a teleporter device. I don't know, but his teleporting is different to her dimension flipping wand. So there's some distinction to be made there. What am I doing now? I have to hit that button and then go back. Whoops. Nuts. Too many dimensions. I can't handle more than 2. My brain is not good enough. Yeah, help me with this lore, people. Tanya's linking yeah, okay. So I need to hit this again. Yes. And then go here. What? No. Hold on. And then get over that side. But, oh, no, but the cow. Okay, I need to get all the way over there. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Sorry. Do I sound frustrated? Yeah. Sometimes I gotta focus on the puzzle. Oh, interesting. Saga 3 had a lot of the Mystic Quest team on it and has lots of similarities. Interesting. I've heard that the Saga series sort of follows on from what Final Fantasy 2 started in terms of its mechanics and stuff. So yeah, Saga 3, interesting. You're making me want to try it, but then again, like, you said the same thing about there being chrono connections of a sort in Final Fantasy 13-2, and you're not going to get me to play that. So, okay. So we need to hit that button first. Too many worlds, too many flips. How do I get down there? Oh, through the red. But then how do... Okay, I can do that. Wait, what? Okay, I'll fall down here. Yeah. Cow friend. And then hit the button. And then we get to go somewhere. Oh, there's all three friends here. Got cat, cow, and other cow. I like how you flip from bow to stern each time. That's a nice thing they did with the theming in this level. Alright, so now we climb the red again. And get on top of the mast and then stay there. No, you're not actually flipping from bow to stern. They stay in the same position every time. Silly me. Alright. So now... we need to get down. And to do that we need to... need to hit that button. Ta-da! Alright, Tonya's having an attempt. They're going between dimensions and trying to return back home. They're all from different dimensions, but they're bonded and it's a Wizard of Oz style adventure. Now that, I really like that actually. That explains why they all look so different. Yeah. But who instigated this? Was it Alta with her wand, or was it the Frogman who seems to be scared of her in this picture? They seem to be friends though. Yeah, the little cows, the rocket cat. Yeah, I could buy that. It's like a band of misfits who've been thrown together to go on a wacky adventure. I always love that kind of story, so that really makes sense to me. I enjoy that one. And Alta can use her flipping powers. Yeah, whenever they transfer, they end up stranded in different places. And then Alta, it's her responsibility to use the wand to gather them all together so they can keep jumping away. This is good. I can get these two characters right here. Oh, whoops. Ah, nuts. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Tonya. They say they're not bothered by this, disappointed and a bit sad, but the Epcot stuff going on today also really made them upset. So that's fresh on rage. Rage! Oops. That was a bad move. Yeah, I like that sort of a Wizard of Oz thing. I don't think there are particular parallels. I'm gonna say the frog is the lion. The cat is Dorothy. Alta is clearly the Scarecrow, which makes the cows the Tin Man for some reason. There you go. There's my attempt. And Gibbon, similarly, it does not want to bother with a 13 ever again. But he does want to go through the Saga games, yeah. At some point in the long history of life, we'll play the Saga games at some point. All of us. All of us humans on planet Earth. Alright, what's the dealio here? One more cow to get. That's very fraught. How do I get over there? If I drop off there... Oh, no! No! Ah. Yeah, currently the RPG series that I'm trying to plow through is the Chrono series. I played another Eden earlier, and then started a Chrono Cross playthrough that I got part of the way through and kind of stalled, and I haven't gone back to it in a while. But yeah, definitely need to get back to Chrono Cross. No, I'm bad at this. And then after Chrono Cross, I'll play Final Fantasy Dimensions 2, which is one of their mobile Final Fantasies that, you know, it's a new game, so they're not just porting an old thing with a really horrible interface and graphical changes. They've made a new interface that suits the platform. But that's supposedly built on some bones of Chrono Break, the abandoned Chrono Trigger sequel project. Alright, what's the deal? If I want to go... I don't think I can get there right now. Oh, I can do this. Ah, no! Oh, I saved it. Golly. Alright, but if I drop off here... Okay, it must be something to do with the position of the cat. Right, if I flip, and then flip... Ah, I was in the wrong position. Okay, I know what to do now. So that's how you get back. Interesting. No, not over there. Wait. Yes, this way. Okay. I know what I'm doing now. I promise. Remember, the sign is your friend. Beautiful. Hello! Oh no! Oof. Multi-flipping, it's important. Woo! Tonya saying this game was more charming when it was just 2 dimensions. 3+ makes it too complicated. I kind of agree. Maybe when they make a new DS that has 4 screens, we can have four different flip dimensions. Nah, it's a bit much to keep in your brain. It just depends on the individual puzzles, and how they handle it, how complicated they are, and how much you have to remember. Alright, I'm gonna fall off this way. So you generally only need to look one ahead, but then sometimes you do have to sort of plan a bit further. Okay. So I know there's a cow down here. Gosh, how many dimensions are there? Okay, there's a cow. Now what? What happens if I... Okay. So as long as I've grabbed this, then I can move on to this. Whoops! Ah, went the wrong way. I was looking ahead which meant that I actually moved in the mirrored direction. Okay. That's probably not actually a problem on the DSiWare one, because things get flipped vertically in that game. Well, now what? Oh, yeah, okay. Cat friend. Alright, now we're going for cow friend. Just got to figure out which world will take me there. And how do I get there? Ah! No, nuts. Yeah, I did a little bit of the additional story stuff, but I think actually they haven't added that much beyond the sort of vanilla story of Another Eden at the point that I had got through it. So there is extra story chapters and side stories as well, but it's a lot. It's just a lot. Yeah, I don't know if and when I will go back. It's still on my phone, still downloading multi-gig updates every now and then, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, it's there. Yeah, I miss the dual screens too. Great feature of the consoles that supported it. Oh yeah, there's tons of more content in Another Eden in the Japanese version that we haven't got yet. Agreed. So there's going to be a lot more to the game as time goes on. In fact, we probably played it at the worst time, at launch. Should have waited like a year. And even then, still going. Speaking of still going, I think I might stop now because my brain is fried and we've seen a lot of this game. I don't know how many levels it has. You know what? I'll look that up too. Let's enjoy a little bit of music. Thank you for joining me today. I had a good time with these two little WayForward games, and I'll continue playing WayForward games on stream and off stream. There's a bit more material in the Witch Cauldron, so to speak, in terms of WayForward stuff. Games that are poorly documented and do not appear on a lot of lists of WayForward games. So look forward to that next week. Wow, you get an alternate title screen if you get S ranks on every level. I hate this. It has an entry and strategy wiki, but no actual strategy guide there. So I don't know how many levels this has in all. Blamp, blamp, blamp. So I don't know how far I am in the game. We're getting localization faster than they're getting new updates, but it's going to be a while before we sync up. Yeah, definitely. Another Eden was out in Japan for a while before we got it, so there's a lot of stuff that's trickling in. But anyway, yeah, hope you had a good time here today, showing off some of Matt Bozon's great work, as well as all of his collaborators at WayForward, including the other Bozons. We met the new characters Wendy and Alta, as well as all their little friends, and yeah, cute games, nice soundtrack, especially on Flip Champs, and stuff that taxed my brain to the point that I couldn't speak at times. That's streaming for you, isn't it? And Final Fantasy Dimensions 2 stopped getting content years ago. Hey. Yeah, that's actually, I often, like I was saying with Half Genie Hero actually, I'll put off playing a game because I know the content is on the way, so I can have it all at once and play through, you know, all the updates, all the DLC and stuff at the same time as I play the main game. I like to start a game and then finish it, which I did not do with Flip Champs today, but yeah, so thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week for games that may be even spookier than this. They weren't that spooky today. Yeah, bye. Have a nice week.